the first time I read his book when I was, I don't know, 15 or so, his words have always filled me with a sense of challenge and a sense of hope. And I think that's an incredible achievement every time to do that consistently, and I'm just standing here stunned. Let's ask some questions, and if you can, please keep them focused and make sure there are questions. Starting with Phil.
Yeah, thank you. I thought it was excellent. But I was surprised that you didn't talk about the issue of Jewish sense of purpose until the end, almost as if like you were almost not going to bring it up, like leaving it to the end, because it seems to me that a lot of the issues that you talked about at the beginning are simply symptomatic of a lack of a sense of Jewish purpose, the lack of a recognition of the Jewish mission. The constitution of Jewish identity is simply a reaction to this state of Jewish experience, so I was just very surprised that you almost didn't bring it up.
Thank you, because you're giving me the opportunity to slip in one that I actually didn't get a chance to. Now, this is actually the most amorphous part of my talk, and I'll try to really condense it. But you're absolutely right. And I would say that in terms of Jewish purpose, I'm beginning to get to that when I talk about fighting evil, that there is built in to the Jewish purpose a sense of fighting evil, of being a force against evil. And I think that's very much a part of who we are. And I'll say actually in relation to that we need to expand our understanding of Tikkun Olam. And by Tikkun Olam, I mean Tikkun Olam is not only doing good, it's also resisting evil. And that brings us right into the heart of Tikkun Olam today. When Israel becomes the first society in the world to prove that you can outlast a jihadist assault on your home front, that is Tikkun Olam. And when we bring over police chiefs from the Midwest to teach them how to deal with security, that's Tikkun Olam. That's Zionist Tikkun Olam. It's not Tikkun Olam, but it's very much Zionist Tikkun Olam. Unapologetic Zionist Tikkun Olam. Okay, and so that's elaborating on the question of Jewish purpose. I think we need to start asking ourselves a very big metaphysical question. And that is, what is the relationship between the restoration of Jewish sovereignty after the Holocaust happening in an age of apocalypse for humanity? Is there significance for humanity, which is in an increasing state of despair, given the ability of the Jewish people to not just recover from our apocalypse in 1945, but to reverse the Nazi fantasy, the Nazi imagination, the demonic imagination, into the Jewish redemptive imagination, to impose on history at precisely the moment when the apocalyptic demonic imagination seemed to prevail, to counter that by forcing history to yield a redemptive fantasy, our great redemptive fantasy. It's not a coincidence that we dredged up at precisely that moment our great historical fantasy to counteract the Nazi fantasy of history. What does that mean in our ability to defeat apocalypse? What does that mean? What is the message of that to the world, which is increasingly facing apocalyptic scenarios? And here I think we have a message of hope that Zionism brings to the world. Now, I'm just throwing that out as the very beginnings of a conversation. And I don't know where that will lead. I can tell you personally where I don't want it to see lead is in a confirmation of Jewish chosenness And triumphalism, I personally am very, very uncomfortable theologically with that direction. But I think we need to start thinking about what do we, from the land of Israel, have to say to the world on the edge, a world that is increasingly on the edge. And this is something that I throw open to you.
We'll go over here. What's your name?